Hey, everybody. Welcome back to a long-awaited episode of Mir Musk. Episode 36, the Mike Harrington and Alex Scarlato interview. And I just want to say for the record, it's an honor to meet you guys. You guys are the power couple behind Gas Digital, in my eyes anyway.
I love it.
And it's just great to meet y'all. I mean, you guys are the essence of an American dream. You have a baby. You guys are cohesive with each other. You guys have created are either created and or supporting a business from the ground up. You guys are killing it privately in the private sector, and it's just amazing to see you guys chase your dreams.
Hell yeah.
It's an honor to meet you guys.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having us.
Dude, you know what? You want to hear the honor? It's an honor to be here is what it comes down to, right? Because we're dumb. So anybody who's like, hey, we'd love to talk to you, it's like, why?
We are, in fact, idiots.
Well, see, I followed you guys for a long time, going back at Gas Digital, and I think actually Harrington is kind of like a true inspirational story if you really look at it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because Harrington, I remember you starting at Gas Digital. My first experience of seeing you was when you were like a long-haired bum. And you crashed. You remember that episode where you crashed into the table, and you at that time were figuratively Lewis's punching bag, and then eventually you became actually his punching bag. But from that time of like kind of being a homeless vagrant, now you're respected.
Can I say I will come on the show anytime if this is what the show is? This fucking rules. Keep going. Keep talking about what Mike used to be.
I mean, he was always kind of he was a funny punching bag for Gas Digital, but he worked his ass off. He became, he lost a bunch of weight. He became a badass, honestly, fighting. He became a respected man, and now he's a father with a beautiful woman. So it just goes to show anyone who's like down and out on drugs or alcohol, whatever your vice is, you can turn it around and make something of yourself. So to you, I give you the salute, bro.
Yeah, dude, be as big a piece of shit as you want. The woman will see it and still want to suck your dick every now and then. It's crazy.
Dude, I don't know. You know, in my defense, I feel like from the start, Mike always showed me a different side of himself than he was like showing the audience. And yeah, I feel like I don't know.
To be fair, though, I do have one point of contention with what you brought up. I didn't fall through a table, right? I didn't lean into a table. I didn't slip.
Can I interrupt?
Into a table.
He jumped into a table. It was the most purposeful looking shit you've ever seen in your entire life, and he denies it to this day. But this motherfucker broke that table for the attention, and I will never stop saying it.
I was shoved into a table by Luis J. Gomez, and that's that.
It was hilarious because, he accused you of being a tryhard and wanted attention, so you crashed into it. Was that at a Creek in the Cave, or was that at Kumia's house?
No, that was at the old Creek in the Cave, and it was actually it was a table Rebecca Trent had bought at like some garage sale.
I don't know if she bought it or like acquired it somehow, but like.
The story behind the table, though, is the day she got it was like with her best friend who had since OD'd, and that table meant the world to her.
And it was the table that she used to like play poker at late nights with only her best friends in the world, and like it held this sentimental value. And like we get back to the Creek next week, and she's like really fucking not even like she was like fucking disappointed in us. She was fucking sad, like on the verge of tears about the fact that we broke this table. And we were like, dude, why would you ever lend us anything that's of sentimental value to you? Like, you know what we do here. I think everybody learned a big lesson that day of like, let's only borrow things that we could absolutely fucking destroy, because that's what this show is. Like,
Right.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, and one thing about Harrington that because I was a BYM guy and I'm a UFC fan, so I respect your commentary on there. You know way more about UFC than Gomez, and I always saw you, Harrington, as like maybe like a deemed a fool or whatever by everyone, but you always seemed like an honest dude when it came down to it. So I respected that about you, and I'd be curious to hear about how you and Alex ended up pairing up, or
what drew your eye to her, man? We need to know.
Well, I mean, mainly it was like drove my eye to her. It was like those first that first month of the intern Olympics. If you go back and watch those shows, Alex would come in like some kind of a custom T-shirt every week, and she would make them like progressively sexier and sexier.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so it was like, I don't know, dude. Like I clocked it immediately. Like, all right, Alex is hot in like a non-conventional enough a way that like, okay, I could somehow, I bet I could.
I could finesse this.
Bet I could. And yeah, and then I got to know her, and it was like, all right, like whatever.
Mike was always extremely confident in his ability.
Well, also to be fair, like the first times I processed it, Alex was talking about her ex, and
Oh, Jesus Christ!
so I know like Christine.
Not my ex at the time.
Oh no, they were still together.
Yeah, my boyfriend. At the
Oh no!
time. Very quickly. Is this mic working?
It's a little bit quieter than the other one.
Okay.
Yeah, you could pass or share. I don't know what's best. The crowd is saying a little bit that it's a little hot off and on, but yeah. So keep going on that story.
Yeah, Mike. Thing where he was like, I'm gonna make you feel extremely comfortable saying anything and everything to me. That was like definitely the basis of our relationship. And I was like, okay, bet. Like, you want to play that game? I will open up to you and tell you everything, things you maybe do want to hear. Oh, child. She's like, don't talk about your ex, Mom. But yeah, like, he just very quickly became somebody who I was like comfortable. I don't know if this is gonna work. He's putting her in the jumper and just we're crossing our fingers that she'll be hot.
You just hope.
You guys got 4 hands there to keep. If you need to switch in and out, it's all good. We know how it is with having little ones.
Yeah, like really immediately, I just became comfortable being like, so this is why my boyfriend sucks, and like I don't even know what to do about it. And like, I don't know, from your perspective, that must have been. I genuinely needed somebody to talk to, and you were there for me from my perspective. But I guess, yes, you had ulterior motives.
No. What happened was Christine asked her early on. She's like, do you have like a boyfriend? What's going on there? And she was like, yeah, I have a boyfriend. We went together for like 7 years, but I should have broken up with him like 3 years ago. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, this is just a matter of time. Like, this is literally, she's actively walking around shouting in front of men who she's like never met before that
I hate him.
Yeah, that she is wildly open to the possibility of cheating. I was like, all right.
I can't. Go ahead.
She's so
guilty as charged.
Hey, no, I respect it.
I hated the guy. Like, I was just like, this is a relationship that started when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
It was one of those things that went on for too fucking long. He was really shitty to me the whole time, and every time I would try to break up with him, he would like pretend
cry. I'm gonna kill myself type shit.
And like, yeah, it was toxic as fuck. It was the whole to do, and I feel like honestly, like getting into Legion of Skanks and like getting to know the crowd that I'm somehow currently like still rolling with was like a big factor. Even beyond,
you don't fuck with soys, you fuck with men, and that's a man right next to you.
Yeah. I was like, this is not going to work for me long term, and I need to eventually figure a way out of it.
5 years later, she came to her senses.
5 years. It was like it literally took me another like 3 years to actually fully break up with that dude, and then I dated another, and then I dated Mike.
So going back, Harrington, what was your start date or kind of first time at Skanks and then or at Gas? And then Alex, when was that intern Olympics when you came on?
So that we were actually like
same day.
Well, no, they are different days from like the first part of that question, because I was going to Legion of Skanks like pretty consistently at the Creek for like a year before that. Like I'd listen all the time, and I had like a commitment at I think like 8 p.m. on Wednesdays, but the show didn't used to start until 9. So I could make it in for like, from like 9:30 on. And I would do that maybe twice, 3 times a month, let's say. I would used to love talking to like just Dave Smith and Lewis in the bar of the Creek after just about UFC shit. So I would go pretty regularly, and I remember there was one episode where they like officially fired Jason, who was the intern who was there before we were. And Lewis said like, we're gonna need new people. And I didn't even wait. Like literally that episode, I went over to Bobby Hutch and Omar and was like, "All right, dude, like what cables need to be wrapped up?
What I gotta do, bitch?
Yeah, where does this go?" And he was like, I guess you're the new guy. Like that is what it is. And I talked to a couple of Skank fans after, and they were like, "Yo, could you imagine like what that would be like to work for Lewis? Like he's asking for interns. What asshole do you think is gonna like volunteer for this job?" And I was like, "I'm pretty sure I just did, but whatever." And then so they took a week off for Moon Tower, and then
That was actually the first week that I showed up.
yeah,
I came to the creek just not knowing that they were away for the week, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll try again next week. And I kept hearing Lewis talk about, like, just like Mike, I kept hearing Lewis talk about needing new interns. So just one day I just showed up with a resume, and I was like, so sure that nobody else would be there for the position. I'd be like, this is going to be so easy. I hand them a resume and I'm the new intern. But Mike and Luke also happened to be there. So Lewis like put us in the made it a competition, made it.
What was the competition like?
Oh, it was really stupid. It was like there were things that made sense for like a producer. Like there was like a clip cutting competition, like who could cut the best 1 minute clip from last week's show. But there was also like silly drink running competitions where they would make it particularly hard and have us like time us on who could get drinks faster, which also depended on the bar and how busy the bar was. Like, and then like a contest for who could pull up internet content the fastest, and it would be like a really obscure movie scene of some kind, or like
Lewis didn't have his driver's license yet. So he would like the internship was that we would drive him. So one of the events for the actual Intern Olympics was just a game of Mario Kart.
That's right. Yeah, and we genuinely would like drive him home after the show. Like we were like literally like
Slaves.
simp fans about it who were like, "Yes, Mr. Lewis, we'll drive you home, and can we chat with you in the car?"
Have you ever said no?
Yeah, I've
Okay.
a few times, but it's like I try not to. Obviously, it just
You got human decency though. At the end of the day, though, you can't just like be a complete slave.
Well, no, but it was like we signed up. Here's the thing, like, and we all were like, it wasn't even about like fan simming. It was really just about us being conniving little backstabbers.
I got you. Okay.
They brought 4 of us in, and they were like, all 4 of you need to compete. So it was like, all right, the more one-on-one FaceTime I get, like over the course of driving Lewis, I ended up just getting, I just picked his brain enough and annoyed him enough where he was like, you know what? Fuck, like come in tomorrow. You work ad sales with Robbie Bernstein from Part of the Problem. So I literally I did like the next day I showed up at Ralph's house and I just started cold calling people trying to get sponsors for different shows.
Right.
So yeah,
you guys worked your way up the ladder a lot since then, but also that was the first Intern Olympics, but now it's kind of devolved into like they have the contestants like fastest one to beat off or something, or they do like it's like its own show basically.
Who can go lift the tip?
Well, the contest has always been like structured so that the person who wins almost never ends up actually taking the position and working the job, and it's the person who comes in second and maybe the third place person who sticks around. And like at the end of the day, I guess if you stick around, like you're the person who's gonna get it. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a way of getting to know people. Like,
yeah,
let's see you try to suck your own dick, I guess. And
yeah, that one guy and
your own dick for the longest will be our new intern.
And then that guy like supposedly sold the best weed too, right, or something.
Oh, Byron, I don't know about all that. I'm not commenting anything that guy does.
Oh, because he bailed, right?
Yeah, and just he's also just the worst in general. But I don't know, dude. Shout out. I hope you're doing well, fucking as Corolla's lapdog.
Not the worst. He just yeah. All right.
But anyway, so you guys started as interns, and then you kind of climbed the ladder in a sense to become main producers and sales guys, and basically training partners, all this different stuff. So you're like prominent people within the Gas Digital ecosystem now. Well,
yeah, but I mean, it was like at the time when we showed up, it was still the whole thing was running out of Ralph's second bedroom. We had, I think, 6 shows on the network, maybe. maybe 8, and we had I think literally the only one who was there before us was Bobby and Shannon. Like that was all of Gas Digital. So it's like the way Bobby explained it to me during the Intern Olympics was like, look, even if you don't win this thing, we have more shows than we have people to work those shows. Like you'll have a gig at some point if you just keep like showing up and working hard and like doing the thing.
Consistency.
Right. So it's like they actually gave me very early on, I think like right after we finished up the Intern Olympics, they gave me Hammer Fisting to produce. It was Ricky Bones and Matty Jeff Skulls. It was like the 9th iteration of that show because that was Lewis's first podcast and he just refused to shut it down because it was his first podcast. So he passed it off to like Chris Scopo and Chris Tinkle. And then, like I said, by the time I got there, it was Matty Jeff Skulls and Ricky Bones. But it was a thing where, you know, there was no way to screw it up. Nobody was listening. So it was like, as long as you're recording and putting it out and putting out clips and doing like, you know, the bare minimum, we're not worried about you screwing this thing up. So it was fun to like cut my teeth doing that. Alex had to jump right into the deep end, like starting on Legion of Skanks right after, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was in college at the time, so that was like the only other thing I was doing. But like, it just like happened at a time where I had like nothing but time on my hands for this pretty much. Like I was going to my classes and doing well in school. I was studying film and just not really loving it. And then when I got this internship, I literally found a way to apply it somehow. Legion of Skanks did for 3 credits of my college courses, which is hilarious because I went to this like extremely like left, very, very liberal, like woke social justice.
Those are the best fucking classes in schools, man.
And they still let me use Legion of Skanks for credit and everything. But like, yeah, I feel like, especially for Mike, but for me to some degree too, like it just was happening when I had time. I had nothing but time on my hands and it was the only thing I wanted to do at all times. So like I'm this unpaid intern, but I'm there 24/7. If somebody says like, hey, this is like literally not for part of your course credit, but the gang's going to the movies tomorrow, or like the gang's going to see the Corey Feldman concert so we can make fun of his stupid voice and his dumb concept. Mike and I were there like every time. And I feel like just like, aside from the social aspect, like literally showing up to Ralph's apartment all day, like to hang out and learn about the shows and whatever, like we kind of proved early on that like if you need people who are going to put the time in, that could be us, you know?
No doubt. And so you guys kind of started out working as producers and you know, just assistants in different aspects of the business, but then eventually you guys kind of got into on-air personalities. Like Alex, you had an amazing show with one of Lewis's many exes, Kim. And then, actually,
the fun.
And then Harrington, you've been on a lot of shows too, and just you've become a thing in its own with your boxing and all that. But going back to that, actually, a sidetrack of all of Lewis's exes, who are your favorites, and who do you want to not see anymore?
God. Yeah, I mean, I can't answer that question beyond that. Kim is my favorite ever.
The
best person in the whole world, and Karen Feehan's a very close second.
Okay, so those are the top 2.
Yeah, so we barely knew Lewis when he was dating Karen. I think they had broken up. I'm pretty sure they broke up like
I don't think I really knew them when they were dating each other, but like it's just like knowing them separately, it's funny to me that they used to date. It's like hilarious. Like it must have been such shenanigans. Like,
so I do remember showing up for an episode of Real Ass Podcast in the morning, and Lewis had said that he was like, him and Karen were taking a break, so we were already working there. I'm pretty sure he was already plotting on hooking up with Kim when he flew out there to like face her for Roastmasters. So I don't know.
You're talking too much now.
Karen at that point, you're
gonna get yourself in trouble, dude.
That version, I'm taking Kim over that version of Karen easily.
Karen today is the best.
Yeah, Karen today is absolutely killing it. But
She's
Lewis got her. I'll be honest with you. Lewis got her at like the absolute bottom of the Karen Feehan bell curve, right? Like it's like Karen was like, she was doing great in her early 20s, you know, like depths of alcoholism, started dating Louis J. Gomez.
She hit literal rock bottom
right.
while dating Lewis, and then now, like, what, like 8 years after the fact, like
Now-
she's soaring above the stars. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, she hit rock bottom. Now her bottom's rocking.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's hot.
Yeah, she's super dope.
But yeah, so I would say Karen, Kim in some order. The one who broke his refrigerator, she can die in a fire. I don't remember her name. I like Karen.
Who's the tattoo one? Is that the refrigerator one?
You can't.
Cuomo?
I can't remember her name.
Riley Cuomo is a sweet
Oh
girl.
yeah, she's dope.
She's a sweet girl. Not the one who broke the refrigerator. She took away food from baby James. But yeah, I don't know. Natalie's cool. I still see her around every now and then. She's got like a boyfriend her own age, who
Her own age.
they tour together, and he's the funny one, but she closes. You make it up.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, for sure.
You're doing great.
Oh, that's awesome. Mir, you got any questions?
Yeah, I want to ask something actually a little bit a little bit actually some real shit real quick.
Spoken to like a man who just drank way too much of that lean.
No, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to ask you
Listen,
something
man.
real, man. I got a real question for you guys because I know you guys are brand new parents.
Okay.
You guys are you have a job and you're in a place right now where it's pretty stable. Am I correct?
Yeah, I mean,
For the most part, but the company went under today.
Only be so stable, but yeah.
Yeah, it's somewhat stable in some aspect. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, are you guys long term looking at staying at Gas Digital? Or are you guys trying to like branch out and possibly move your careers to more like larger networks? Or
why? Do you know one who's hiring? Is this
no? I'm just asking. Like,
offer? Then in that case, no. I plan on staying at Gas Digital until I die at my keyboard.
so Gas Digital itself, it's a pretty successful company for the most part. You'd say?
I mean, look, dude, it keeps a roof over our head for now.
Okay. So it's pretty successful for the most part. They do tours, right? And all that other stuff. They do comedy tours. They do
Skankfest.
Yeah, Skank. They have that huge Skank Fest, and I'm pretty sure that's growing every year, correct? Since it first started.
Yeah, we had like 1,000 more people last year than we did the year before, so I think that means we've grown every year.
Right. So it's within itself is actually becoming like a larger company, and it's growing so many things. You guys are probably hiring more people. I'm guessing you guys are making more money every single year from this shit to some aspect.
You can guess that.
But all I'm saying is, with this company, well, I'm trying to say is fuck, dude. I just want to make sure, like, this company itself. I don't know. Fuck it. I don't know. I fucked up.
Dog, you set up this question for 8 minutes. You got.
I'm hang on. I'm trying to get it right now. You ready? Here it comes.
The nature of their job is, and
I want to make sure you motherfuckers are secure in your own aspect, and then you guys aren't fucking starting from the barrel again and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because companies can go under in no matter of time and whatnot. When people start listening, like, look at what happened to half the fucking people at O&A and shit. Like, if you look at certain parts of the producers and shit, they actually like kind of just went off the side, and now they're fucking doing their own thing. You know, Compound Media, all that shit. I just want to make sure you guys are in a stable condition and whatnot with a child to be successful and shit.
We love working at Gas Digital, and we want the company to succeed, obviously. God forbid that were not the case, and we had to find a different work. I think that we
you
have
can do it like that.
That's like needed. Like, people are going to continue creating podcasts. People we know are going to continue creating podcasts. We have like the, friends in the industry and networking and like and experience, and I don't see it being a problem. Like, we obviously we're not in this line of work for the paycheck. Like, there's a lot about like our personalities that just kind of melds with this lifestyle where like we kind of preach like having fun and enjoying your day-to-day life over making money, and we're just practicing like how we feel about that.
Well, there also is another aspect too where it's like, I don't know. I remember having this conversation with like one of the other former producers. You know, when there was like a bunch of that drama kicking off over the summer, and he tried to like hit me with some snarky shit, like, "Oh,
hey, the company's going under. Watch out."
No, it was like, "Oh, if you need the money, I hear Gas Digital doesn't pay that well." And I was like, hold on, dickhead. Let's process this for a second. Like, at the end of the day, I've always looked at Gas Digital as as an opportunity more than a paycheck, right? So it's like,
no, go ahead.
as a result, right? As a result of working at Gas Digital, like, it's not like a one-to-one pipeline. Everybody who works at Gas Digital gets to work with Michael Bisping and
Right.
invited into his home, be invited to go train at Ruka and sit, cage side at UFC 295, right? Like, go on down the list. Like, the amount of things that I've been able to do has been strictly me making the most of my opportunities. That includes booking a couple of comedy clubs in there, right? It's like, for a long time, like, that's what I would put as my, like, on my taxes. Wasn't necessarily podcast producer. It was like comedy club booker, because that was paying me more, right? And I would tell people when I went into Gas Digital, hey, I barely work here, because at the time I was only working on Believe You Me. But it's like, that to me is like, it has always been, at the forefront of my mind from when I first started with this company, is like, up until a couple of weeks ago, we were all independent contractors. So it's like, you make whatever opportunities you want in this business. And a lot of that is just, like, without having Gas Digital to get me in the door, I don't know a lot of these people. I haven't made a lot of these connections. I haven't put together a resume worthy of getting hired to these positions, right? Or
You might not have ever made it on Mir Musk if it wasn't for Gas Digital.
That's right, boy.
certainly would not be on this show.
No, but you know what I respect about this, man? But hang on, I'm gonna say something real quick. You might act like I'm not fucking real, but I'm real with your shit, bro. You came hostile at me real quick when I was saying that shit, because I can read vibes. You didn't like me attacking your company at first, and I know that. I saw you like that. But I'm gonna say this real quick to you, bro. I respect that at the same time, because you came at me with facts. You said, "Hey, motherfucker, you know what the fuck you're talking about. You're talking. I'm gonna speak to you with some real shit." And I was like, "Okay." And you proved to me right there, you actually want to see the company evolve. You want to see the company grow. And you want to be a part of that. And you actually care about the company. And I actually do appreciate that you came in with that. So thank you, man.
Yeah, dude. I mean, look, Ralph and Lewis have invested a ton into this, into building this platform, building out the studio space that we have, and like kind of setting up like a fertile ground for success.
Right.
Look at the shows that have come out of Gas Digital, right? Our resume includes Tim Dillon, Are You Garbage? Obviously Legion of Skanks, Believe You Me. You go down the list, like, either these shows started at Gas Digital or came to Gas Digital, grew tremendously, and some of them have moved on. But the blueprint is there for success.
I guess the next question is, how do you keep those shows there, though, to continue, to grow that company to the point where Tim Dillon and these other guys are at now?
What I always respected about Tim Dillon, and this goes back to like when we were at Ralph's apartment, right? And Tim was chilling on the couch, spending $30. So asking if we wanted apple pies so he could hit the $30 minimum to get McDonald's delivered to Ralph's place. Right? This is a real thing that happened. And Ralph would sit there on the couch and say the words, "The moment I get the opportunity to, I will fuck all of you and leave instantly." Right? And it's like, Tim Dillon said this. Like,
That's
he was
dirty,
very
bro.
open and honest about this. And the moment he got on Joe Rogan and got an opportunity to fuck us entirely and bounce, he did. So it's like, you can't hold that against the guy. You knew what was coming. So I think with that happening and with the way that AYG left, I know they've restructured the contracts a bit for these shows so that won't happen. But I mean, ideally, don't put guys like Are You Garbage in a situation where Dylan is the only one producing their show. Right? Really, what happened? Right? We trust Dylan.
Tell me what happened. Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. We trust Dylan to do anything, and Dylan treats him like everything Dylan treats, right? Like a fucking annoyance that he has to be out of bed, that he has to do fucking anything, that you are blessed to have Dylan there in front of you.
That pisses off the talent.
that you have the fucking superstar Dylan J. Negree working a fucking board for you, a position that is so.
Wait, Dylan Negree, who's that?
That's the guy we had on.
Oh shit! Wait,
I'm sorry, Dylan Jacob. Dylan Jacob. Don't want to disrespect the man and his fucking endeavors.
Jacob. Hang on, that guy came on our show and he made it seem like he was the OG, the number one, the top gas digital guy, boxing and killing it, making the names, making the money. Is that not true? Is he a fake motherfucker?
Dude, that's who he is. That's what he is.
I love Dylan to death, but
Me too.
really not the OG. I mean, he came in like what 4 years after us, 3 years after us. He came in, he did his little like kind of wigger thing.
Yeah,
and,
the
like,
little white boy, Jewy wigger shit. Yeah.
And he had that Melfi chick for a little bit, right?
No, I love Dylan. He's trying to be a comic. He's not trying to be a producer. So
Yeah.
like I think that like Lewis knows that over time we've noticed that that's been an issue with a few people where
Just
if you want to
have
be a
them
comic, then you're probably not going to make a great producer because your heart's not in the right place.
That's not even true. That's not even true. And Sean Gardini.
Oh, that's true. That's
He's
true.
good.
That's true. Actually, there's a Toby.
Yeah,
Toby.
the guy who Are You Garbage eventually got.
Toby fucking rules. I
Wait,
take that back.
Wait, hang on, back up, you two. Hang on, because I don't know too. Hang on, wait. I don't know too much about the history though. So, but Dylan ruined your guys' chances of keeping Are You Garbage? He kind of ruined that as a producer, just like fucking with them so much. They're like, fuck this, we're done with this fucking. Did they do that?
I don't know. Mike is
What?
What?
No. The reason I was bringing that up is because I mean Dylan was he was their producer for a while, and I mean.
Right.
I don't know exactly how Dylan fucked it up.
You know, it could have been more or less that they thought, well, why the fuck do we need him? We could just, you know,
I mean, they
do it on our own.
They went and got Toby McMullen, a producer who,
Gives a fuck.
He gives a fuck, and he's also like, he's way more fun to hang out with. Like, he's a chill guy who people enjoy being around for the most part. Not a wigger that they roll their eyes at. So it's like
Dylan's dope.
Yo,
if he hears this, he's not going to talk to us for.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, dude, Dylan, come back on, bro.
Dylan, I got your I got your email. I'll send the link right now. You can hop right on.
He wishes, dude. He wishes he can go a year without talking to me. I'll tell you right now, if he tried pulling the silent treatment out, I'd just start hitting him. Like this motherfucker, I got in his corner for his fight with Crack and Miko, right? The guy's sitting there gassed out of his mind after a minute and a half of boxing or whatever the round was in that Mickey Mouse tournament they had. Fucking guy's sitting there and he's huffing and puffing. He can't handle anymore. I give him a Rocky level pep talk. Tell him to cut the fucking shit, get in there, beat up this other stupid wigger. I'm tired of hearing he goes out there, jumps up in the air and double punches a guy, and he thinks something, right? His next move, the next day, he goes on Fig Talk and says, I want to fight Harrington. And it's like, dude, you can't get me out of your head. Like, you're still so embarrassed that I made you cry in Houston that you've wanted this back for 2 years now. What are you doing, dude?
Yeah,
what are you doing?
So Mir, Dylan, he came on before his fight with Crack and kind of promoted it a little bit. But before that, he had actually fought Harrington to a pretty tight fight. But Harrington won. I mean, you won.
Was it a pretty tight fight?
I mean, I don't know. I guess you won. You won easily.
Jump in multiple times and say, Dylan, you have to punch back or I'm going to stop this fight.
Yeah, Harrington whooped him a little bit. Yeah.
But yeah, so that whatever.
But
so
Dylan's the bitch, then it seems to me.
Oh yeah, but the only point I'm making with all that, right? Is like,
wait, hang on, before you say that, Dylan just like approached me and just made me fall in love with the idea of him being like, you know, I'm a fucking G, I'm a fucking gangster type shit. All right, I get it now. Go ahead, though.
You know, I'm just that kid out here.
I loved it. The tattoos. He's telling me stories about the tattoos. Like, you see this motherfucker
had
right
one
here?
tattoo when we met him.
Not stories about the tattoos. He got like 4 of them in 1 week at one point.
That's right. He was telling me stories. He was telling me all types of shit, man.
He started hanging out with
Luis Joe Gomez comes up to me and tells me these things. I'm like, you know what? I respect, nigga.
Bro,
hard shit, bro.
Check the NFA tattoo he got on his bicep like a week before they fired him. That's probably
they fired him. They fired him. No way they did. They did not fire him.
They fired him on air.
Which show was that? Was that with the brothers?
No need for apologies, and I'm pretty sure it's called "Dylan is Fired." Is the name?
I know what happened there. I know exactly what happened. He took a trip to Costa Rica, which like we're allowed to do, by the way. Like, one perk of working at Gas Digital is that like you can work your schedule around however you could work it. If you want an extra vacation week, all you got to do is hit up one of your friends and say, "I need you to cover this, and this week," and get someone to agree to it. Dylan just went on vacation. This was supposed to be his paid vacation, by the way, which you're supposed to tell a superior about so that everybody knows, like, I'm taking my paid vacation. This isn't even me like
In a normal business
for a favor,
situation,
whatever. He just took his vacation, didn't tell a soul about it until he's like posting online from Costa Rica, didn't tell his host that he wasn't going to be there the next week, didn't find somebody to fill in. So they show up and they have like a good guest booked and whatever, and they're ready to record. And they're like, "Where the fuck is Dylan?" And we open up social media and he's just in Costa Rica. That's what he lost that job over.
Fair enough. I mean, hey, Dylan was talking about a dude who's kind of like a hanger-oner guy at Gas Digital that you guys might know that we always ask people about. But what are your thoughts on Ray DeVito?
What? Who?
Good man.
I want to know where Decline Host is coming from on this. Like, what?
We ask every single guest, and he's been on our show a few times. Yeah, because we're big Ray guys in this whole Dabbleverse, Mudverse world. So
Ray
yeah,
DeVito is so nice. He's one of the nicest dudes in comedy. He's like kind of simple and awesome, and you could.
He's sexually deviant. Watch out! I'm not kidding.
They all are, dude.
Yeah, they can't help themselves, dude. They're comedians. They spend 2
Fucking
days a year on the road with no loved ones. Like that's how you brew a deviant, right? If you were going into the deviant lab, say, "Hey, you're going to need to do a one-nighter in Cleveland, then a one-nighter in Toledo, and then I'm going to need you to bust your ass to make it up to Albany for a one-nighter 2 days later." It's like, right. Yeah, of course, the girl outside of the Chuckle Hut is going to catch on
Chuckle Hut.
Is going to catch this deviance, right?
I think he only does like 4 or 5 shows a year, to be honest.
Ray, that's not true. Do not put that on Ray DeVito. Do not put that on, because Ray DeVito is one of the few people on the planet who like lives in Cleveland, Ohio, wherever the hell he lives, but can come and sell out a show in New York consistently on a monthly basis, dude. That's the number.
Oh, he does that. He does the Famous Ray show at the Stand once a month.
He does Famous Rays, right? But he also, on top of that, though, like I just remember we used to do Roastmasters. It was the first like comedy show that I worked on. In New York. It was a Roastmaster at the Stand, and we were right after, like, Ray DeVito had the 8 p.m. slot at the Stand, we had the 10 p.m. slot, and I would watch Ray after the show go around asking every audience member for their email list in his big stupid spiral notebook, and it's like, well, there's a reason that guy will get booked at every club in New York City for perpetuity, because of that stupid spiral notebook with like 10,000 emails in it that these clubs want a piece of. So God bless Ray DeVito, dude. That guy taught me what hustling is.
Oh, no shit. I mean, props to that. I had no idea that he was that.
Of Ray DeVito. And he's honestly, even though he had Alex Stein on and he told Alex Stein that Alex was going to kick my ass and the whole nine and talk all this good shit about me, I've never said a bad word about you, Ray DeVito. So how about that?
There you go, Ray. Unblock me, bitch.
Unblock me, bitch. Yeah, Ray had you on. Hang on, real quick though. Actually, I'm gonna ignore you two for a second, even though you're our guests. I love you guys. You guys are great. I want to ask you something, Chow. I saw you go on Ray's show, and Ray kind of just like say, "Hey, don't worry, we're gonna answer these super chats," and then he kind of just like threw you to the side, and he never brought you back, and he brought on that paraplegic motherfucker.
Yeah. This is some Chad Zumach.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Him and Ray are beefing pretty hard.
Are they?
Yeah. So I kind of got in the middle of it on Friday. I was on Ray's show, and then I went on Chad's show. And
Jimmy versus Timmy.
Versus who?
Jimmy versus Timmy from South.
Oh yeah, exactly. No, Ray kicked me off, and he had a legit quadriplegic guy come on and replace me, but
he's a loser.
Yeah, but beyond that, That's a great story about Ray, and he uses the gas studio for his show sometimes because we're a big Rock Bottom, or I'm a big Rock Bottom. I watch his show, so that's kind of how I keep up with him. But
He blocked you, but you watch his show to keep up with him?
he just blocked me this week. We'll smooth it out. You know how it is.
Hey, I want to ask a question about you two. I'm done doing all this fucking garbage, internet beefs, fucking how it goes. You guys are amazing. I want to hear about your first date. How did he come to you and tell you that he want to go out with you? How'd that roll?
Oh, Alex, come on. This is directed at you.
Yeah.
How on earth am I supposed to answer that question?
How did he come up to you and ask you out, or did you ask him out?
No, I feel like, okay, so from the jump, like early on, I'm, complaining to him about this boyfriend who I hate. And he's immediately, like, his first reaction to that is like, well, I got the solution to that. You break up with him, you date me. We could have a baby together. It'll be awesome.
That's perfect.
Literally, like, month one of knowing him, I feel like those words came out of his mouth. And I, felt not great. Like, I was like flattered by that, but also had a boyfriend who I'm dealing with this like toxic relationship shit, right?
Yeah.
But he very easily with not too much effort was able to wear me down quickly into like, well, if you hate your boyfriend anyway, like we could probably hook up a couple times, right? And I was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I do hate him. I'm planning to leave him anyway. You're right. I'm not a cheater. I'm just a girl living her life.
How was the first date though?
Chipped
What
away.
did you guys do for the first date? Hang on, that's the
we
first
hung
date,
out all the
man.
time. We were like, we were like
Oh,
really close friends.
it's like friendship first.
Yeah,
and then
we were really close
gradually
friends. I
evolve.
started
Yeah,
picking Mike up to go to the office. It was so wildly out of my way. It was probably like, in retrospect, a huge sign to him that was like, oh, she's totally in. She's driving like 40 minutes out of her way to come pick me up to bring me to the city so that we have like an hour of car time together every day.
Mike, when was the first time you kissed her, man? How'd you pull that off?
She made the first move. Obviously, yeah. I'm not a home wrecker. This girl's in a relationship. I
respect that. Actually, I do respect that. I respect that.
You
have the boy code. You have the respect code.
No, not even. I was just honestly.
Suggest it first. You definitely put it out there.
Yeah, I literally said, "Yo."
Not even.
She's like, "Yo, it's fucked up. Like, I really want a kid." I was like, "Yo, I'll put a baby right now. What do we do?"
What the?
Always works.
Right?
Yeah.
Just instantly hitting her with like, "Yo, I want to impregnate you."
No.
Yeah, dude, I pulled absolutely no punches. I was like, I'm not letting you get away. And then so it was a thing where it was like, it wasn't even about respecting sanctity. It really was just about like, yo, this girl thinks she's a good girl. I'm gonna see how long she can hang out in my bed before she finds out she's not a good girl.
No, my Christ.
Yeah, and it wasn't that long.
There you go, bro. But that's the thing. Where were you? You didn't have a bunch of status, and like, where were you getting picked up from at the time? Because I thought you were sleeping like on the stairs over by Gas Digital.
So that's a gross misnomer. I didn't come to Gas Digital as a homeless weirdo, right? Gas Digital made me homeless.
At this point, Mike had a nice apartment, like past the Bronx, like Westchester, right? Yeah. It was like a two bathroom, 2-bathroom apartment with a full kitchen and a living room. And
that's
he
amazing.
Cars at the time, and still I was like, I guess your license must have been suspended or some weird shit. Why was I picking you up all the time? You had 2 cars. That's crazy. Yeah. Like literally any excuse to hang out. Like we were just getting along really well, and I wanted to hang out at any time. And then sometimes that would become like,
what was the biggest fight you guys ever had? Fuck all the good times. What was the hardest fight you ever went through that you guys were really like, that was what built it. You know what? Fuck, hang on. Just shut up for a second. Hang on. What I noticed with couples is not what the good times make, is what the hard times make. Correct? So what was the hardest time you guys went through and you guys were able to resolve that? Because that's insane for a couple to come through and make it out on the other side. So tell me that real quick.
Okay, I'm thinking of some of our early fights that were before we were ever officially dating, but they were toxic, some of them.
Yeah.
In Vegas, when we went to see Lewis fight Ryan O'Neal in Ellis Mania, I was really mad. It turned out to be an okay weekend, actually. What I'm really thinking is Skankfest. I needed you to print something for me. This is Skankfest at the Creek. No, it's at the Brooklyn Bazaar. I'm prepping Stone Science Fair. It's
What
like
happened? What do you do?
so like Stone Science Fair is this event where I literally had to put on a science fair that people would enjoy taking part in the experiments while they're super high on weed, right? And like I get told like a week beforehand that I have to do this. So I basically have to prep like 9 or 10 science fair experiments with like boards and everything and like printouts of information. I'm like doing child's homework for like a whole week. And it comes the night before, and it's Kim and Sarah. This is Kim Congdon and Sarah Weinshank's project at Skankfest. And they wanted something to do with like every comedian at the festival needed an image printed of them, and it needed to be cut out and pasted on a specific thing. And this is the night before the fucking thing. And Mike had his own Skankfest assignment that night. I don't remember what it was. I'm sure you could you had your own thing. It was to do with the basketball court.
I had to take a ladder to a basketball court for some reason.
No, you had to go hang. Remember the net on the. This is like a public basketball court that we noticed that like the net was fucked up on, and Mike's was supposed to be like replacing the chain net on this like public basketball court with a ladder.
Oh yeah, and I couldn't even find the basket. I couldn't find the basketball court. That was the problem. I had no clue where it was. I was just Googling basketball parks in Long Island City, and Alex was.
The comics are going to play.
Just go find it.
It's so eclectic. The comics, the first thing the next morning, the comics are supposed to play in this basketball tournament, and the hoop isn't prepped or whatever. And so we're both on our like own wild excursion. It's the middle of the night. It's like at least 11 p.m. Like getting to be toward midnight. I'm like picking up these papers. Mike agrees. I had no working printer in any of my vicinity, and everything's closed. And Mike agrees to get these papers printed for me, and I have to meet up with him to get them. I don't know. We're screaming at each other, dude.
Yeah.
Like screaming, "You fucking idiot!" Like,
yeah, that brought the worst out. Skankfest generally
brings out the worst.
Brings the worst out of you because it's like, I mean, especially
stress.
The prep time, right? Like the 2 days before, which is nice. Like they started doing a thing once we got to Vegas where like they take us out to dinner the night before the kickoff party, and it's like, I don't know, that to me is like a good tension breaker. You know what I mean? It's like, we're all nervous, we're all worked up, we have like this giant festival ahead of us, we're all on edge, and Lewis is like, dude, we're going to get sushi samba.
Let's all be together, like be a team. Let's just all chill out together. Yeah. Smart man.
But yeah, no, I'm trying to think like actual. I mean, dude, there was a fight we had at one point. This was well beyond that, like years later. So essentially, we started hooking up for a bit. Alex eventually grew a conscience out of nowhere. I don't know what the hell that was all about.
Jesus, I hate that shit.
She was like, "Yo, we gotta knock this off." And I mean, there was maybe like 6-7 months. We might have said 3 words to each other. And I mean, dude, she would
working together every day, just icing.
You know what? I bet the makeup sex was insane though. So.
Yeah, I mean, eventually. We got there. But yeah, like I remember, she would come in and like intentionally push my buttons. Like she'd come in and be like, "Hey, you know, I'm thinking about just having a kid by myself. Like I'm just gonna go find
about your cock.
I'm just gonna go find a sperm donor, pick out one, you know, super tall, super intelligent, college educated, like all the things I'm not.
Not bald.
And great head of hair, like all the shit. And then I'll just raise it myself. I'll just do it all by myself. And I'm literally sitting there like, yo, I'm trying to put a kid in you. What the fuck is wrong? And like I couldn't say anything.
How long did you guys try for?
What?
How long did you guys try for?
Come on, dog.
What?
Bro,
I can ask that.
Kids don't try. We do, son.
Yeah, right. No, once he got the opportunity, he just did, bro.
One and done, dude. She pulled the for a second. Bro, I hit that
fucking crazy motherfucker.
I hit that egg like Skywalker heading for the Death Star in the first one, dude. Just...
When I tell you there was one opportunity that would have allowed for that to happen, and it happened in that one opportunity, I can't even tell you. I mean, try schmy, am I right?
Well, that's the thing. The Harrington genes are just too strong, bro.
They're strong, dude. But the Harringtons don't generally have girls. I got a girl out of him. I like
Shoot.
that. She's been dying for us to look at her for the last 30 minutes.
No doubt, no doubt.
Yo,
So-
what's up? Real quick, just what's up with Dirty Dalish? Is that actually a woman, or is that like just a trans person who has like a chick's image up as their thing? Like, what's
no, she's a OF model. She's on Twitter. She's been on the show too. She's a dime, bro.
Yeah?
Yeah. She's a legit chick.
She did make me a little upset when she referred to my daughter as it. That was a little bit frustrating.
Oh, shit. Yeah, don't keep an eye on the chat too much, but
I can't help I can't help myself. When my daughter's being called an it, that's out of bounds.
Yeah, no, she's usually pretty chill, so it could be she gets trolled by a bunch of
She's
people.
frustrated right now.
Yeah,
You're right.
She gets trolled by a bunch of people, so I doubt it's she
can find love. But anyway, hang on. Let's get back into you guys real quick though, because I always love talking to couples, because even like entertainment couples, because you guys always have fun, wacky stories. That's always, always interesting. How do you guys like each other's in-laws? That's pretty good. You guys like all each other, all the in-laws and shit's gonna go good.
They're really similar. So like we get it. Like I speak from my end. Like when I met Mike's parents, I was like, oh, they're gonna be just fine when I introduce them to my family, who most people would not be able to get a word in with my family. But Mike's parents are also the type of people who are allowed to get a word in. So like I think we just picked up on that right away and got it right away. My mom has loved Mike. My mom literally at one point, like her attitude was always like, why aren't you just dating Mike Harrington? He's the best. Like she loves Mike and she's felt that way about him for a long time. So
well, I would also like that. The in-laws was a big thing for me, because I would always tell Alex, right? Like when she was fucking me on the low, right? And making her dirty little secret, I'd be like, why don't I ever get the invite to Sunday dinners? What is this about? Are you ashamed of me?
Right.
So like I would really hammer on her that like, Sunday dinners would be nice. Plus my parents moved out of town years and years ago. So like getting a nice home cooked meal from parents was like
hard.
Oh, let's go, dude. I'm in. So I'm all about
how was your first time meeting the in-laws, man?
Oh, it was great. I went over there, I think like the day after Christmas, and immediately like I'm cracking jokes with the mom.
You're nice, you're normal.
Yeah, dude, they were watching Fox News. I was like, yo, you're really gonna let Tucker Carlson lie to you to try to sell you a pillow? Like, the hell is wrong with you, lady? But like the same shit I hit my mom with, I was hitting her with, and she picked it up immediately. And I was like, oh, her and my mom are gonna get along great. And now they talk maybe more than Alex and I talk. Like,
really?
Crazy.
So the in-laws are all like involved in it.
Yeah. And it's like, my dad's in his own world. Her dad doesn't like dealing with other people. So it's like, it works really well. The families, like they mesh really well. This year we did Christmas together.
If anything, Mike's dad will invite my dad to something, and my dad will just off the bat be like, I don't do things. And they're both
I don't do things.
Yeah.
They're both relieved about it.
The house.
Yeah.
How was the baby shower? Where was that at? Your house, Alex, or was it at Mike's?
Yeah, the baby shower was great. Mike's mom and my mom planned it together. It was at a fancy little restaurant on Long Island. We had a table full of like comedians / it was all girls, women only. We had a table with like the comedy ladies, which was nice. Everybody from like Natalie and Shannon to like Corinne Fisher and Karen Feehan and
shit. Okay.
Yeah, it was nice. The food was great. It was super fun. Everybody, it was crazy because that was like one of the I've always felt very celebrated and loved as a person, but that was like next level for me. And same with the baby shower that the Legion of Skanks threw me on air. Like I thought it was going to be like a silly little thing, and when we got home that night, we were opening presents for like 45 minutes. We were opening presents for like 45 minutes from random fans, just like astonished by like the love and support from everybody. It was really crazy.
Yeah, no doubt. So I want to touch on something that happened, I think, this year at Skankfest, right? Am I getting this right that you proposed?
That was last year.
Last year,
2
recently,
years
right?
Now, yeah.
Yeah, so that was a surprise. So do you guys have any date set or anything for that? Or you just, how's that going?
Why are you doing this?
What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing?
Right?
What are you doing? Come on. Hey, no. You know what?
Did she
What are
put
we
you up to
doing?
this?
What are we doing? Motherfucker, I know what you're going through. He knows what you went through and shit. You know, you got to talk to the boys. Let's go. Come on.
I had a kid and didn't get married for a few years after.
Same here.
So I know how it is. But
Right.
I'm about to get married. So what are you doing, bro? Come on.
So no, here's the thing, right? Like I thought we had a plan. I thought we had a plan locked in. Alex just keeps not liking the plan and changing the plan, and then she wants to talk to me about it. She'll get in her head about it and then ask me 45 questions in rapid succession, and I'll be like, "Yo,
do they make any sense?
This is it. I'm just shutting down. I'm not doing this anymore. Like I'm not." And then she'll just start getting upset and say that I'm not taking this seriously. But it's like, I don't know, dude. Whatever. Whenever she tells me we're getting married, that's when we're getting married. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, feel free to do some breastfeeding right on camera. You know, we're cool with this.
Maybe next time.
No, don't do that. Jesus Christ. Don't do that.
I'm just messing with you.
YouTube can't handle
If my
that.
baby's hungry, I'll go for it.
No, motherfucker, stop.
No, what? Go ahead.
So how'd you guys come up with the name? What's her name again?
Her name's Aura.
Beautiful.
Aurora or Aura?
Aura.
Aura.
Okay, Aura, like an aura. Okay.
Yeah.
So how'd you guys come up with that? Like what brought that upon? Like who came up with that first?
I feel like I was thinking of names that I liked, and I was like stuck around like Laura, Nora, stuff like that. And I was like, I feel like I like the Aura sound. And when I said that, I was like, Aura is kind of nice. It starts with an A, like, which I like. It's like has a nice meaning. It has a few nice meanings, honestly. Like aside from the word that we all know, like a glowing light. In Greek, it means like the soft, cool breeze of morning, which is another nice. It just has like only positive connotations to me, and I wanted it to be kind of unique, but also to sound like a name.
No, you're good, man. I named my
Beautiful.
daughter after me a little bit. Like her name's Maxine. Well, it's actually Maxwell in the birth certificate, so it's like Maxwell Jr., but it's for a female. So it's like
Cute. I like it. Maxine's cute.
yeah, no, her name's Maxwell after my name, so she's still Junior, but we call her Maxine.
I love it.
I'm kidding.
I was gonna ask about the wedding, and then I was gonna ask Harrington. Do you have another fight planned coming up?
So somebody in the chat here, and if you could please illuminate me more. Apparently, what's his name? The very angry guy whose brother's
Brennan?
more successful. Yeah, that one.
Kevin Brennan, yeah.
Yeah, he said, I don't know. He's been talking shit about a lot of my friends, and I told him I would gladly
Beat the fuck out of him.
beat the fuck
Yeah,
out
you
of
would fuck him up.
him. But I don't know. I didn't hear anything back from him since then. But
Dude, he won't leave his house, bro.
But
He's,
then
like, all
somebody in the
paranoid.
chat said he's been training, and so I don't know if he's been posting about
No,
it.
he's not. Come on, dude. He's like 80.
I don't know, dude. I'd gladly beat that guy's ass. But listen, I need to keep taking fights just to keep myself honest. Like if I don't have, something on the calendar booked, it's really hard for me to not just like have a dessert or whatever. Unless I have to make weight by a certain day, it's so hard to just be a good person. So
Well, Alex, I was gonna say you
keep myself on the straight and narrow.
You could tell him that you can't have another fight until he has the wedding officially planned, and then that would motivate him to get it going.
Man, I'm like not. Planning a wedding is just so stressful. Like I'm not in a rush either. I feel like we both just wish it could be done without
I know how it
you know what
is.
I mean? We're just like, can it just be done?
No doubt. No, I want to get back. I know Harrington's transformed his body and has become a combat athlete to some extent. But beyond that, going to the Gas Digital, what are some of your favorite shows that you've or comedians that you've seen come through over the years, and maybe some of your least favorite?
Ooh.
Yeah, oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Least,
I want to hear
yeah,
this.
what are you doing, dude? I'm trying to think who's quit comedy. I mean, honestly, like,
We had Dalton on. What about
Dalton
Dalton
Pruitt?
Pruitt?
Fucking G. Don't ever shit on him. Dylan's garbage compared to him, bro.
So here's I mean, that's why Dalton made Dylan cry like a bitch on air.
Really? What? Dylan
of
didn't
my
say that.
favorite
He
moments in
said
podcast history.
All right, whoa,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So let me see the guys who've come through. I was mentioning before, like I remember when they did the episode where Hitler was on the Real Ass podcast.
Good man.
With Tim Dillon, and I just walked up to I walked up to Tim Dillon right after. I'm like, yeah, I work with the funniest people on the planet. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I knew Shane Gillis when he was still driving up from Philadelphia, right? Like, didn't even have a place in the city and was just coming up to do spots every now and then. Obviously the getting to meet and become friends with like Tim and the Dad Meat guys is so great. Yeah, I don't know. Love
you like those Philly guys a lot.
I love the Philly guys, dude. They're all just awesome dudes. Trying to think comedians.
Or maybe a guest on Legion of Skanks who was a dick or something like that.
I never met I mean, the only one who I still want to meet, who I think would actually make me fanboy out is like Kyle Kinane, and he's never come through.
Okay.
Like, that's probably the dream guest. But guess who I don't like? Comics who I don't like.
Who's that Pennsylvania comic that's white? They used to go on Brendan's show all the time. That stopped though after Gas Digital's "Are You Garbage" team. Remember, he knew them very well. What was that white dude's name? Fuck,
Tom Cassidy.
Tom Cassidy.
Tom Cassidy. Yeah,
He's still doing comedy.
No, I know he is, but he stopped going on Brendan's show because he said it was too toxic, and he wanted to try to get he wanted to be still with his friends at Gas Digital and shit because Kevin Brendan was going off on you all the time.
Yeah, well, I mean, also, there's absolutely nothing to gain except, people like Dirty Delish and those kind of guys like chilling in your chat. Like, that's what you have to gain by going on Ray's show.
Right, exactly. Stupid motherfuckers and whores. That's all
Kevin
it is.
show. Yeah, like that is kind of the deal. So it's like, I can see why Tom wouldn't, find anything to gain going on working with Kevin versus like, going on the road. He's on the road with the AYG guys all the time now. Like,
he's killing it.
He's doing excellent. So I'm very happy for Tom, and that sounds like he made a good choice. But yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, probably just Brennan. He just rubs me the wrong way, right? Like he comes out after Dave Smith all the time, which is like, dude, he's doing so much better than you, and you've been at
Who's
so
Dave
much.
Smith? I don't know who that is. Who's that?
Dave Smith.
He's huge.
He's
one of the
He's one of the thanks. He has a very popular podcast, Part of the Problem. And more than that, like, he's just been like a good dude to.
Is he the guy that did Clarks and shit?
What?
No. He's the so it's Lewis, Big J Okerson, and Dave Smith are the three Legion of Skanks. And Dave is like the political, like, he's on Joe Rogan all the time, and he's got a huge podcast kind of talking about political
Dave
philosophy.
Smith? That's his name?
Yeah. You might not have seen him, but he's huge, bro. He's huge.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
He's probably one of the more popular dudes on
Dave Smith.
at the network. Yeah. And Brennan.
Oh, this guy. Yeah. I know him now. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I've seen him on Joe Rogan before. Okay, shit. He's part of Digital?
Yeah, he's one of the main guys.
Jesus. I don't know anything about that. Okay.
Yeah, he's huge. As far as like, I'm sure he's probably his show's probably one of the most popular shows at the whole network, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Harrington, what's your take on Dalton Pruitt, man? You fuck with him or no?
Oh, dude, honestly, I'm the one. Man, kind of does piss me off because Dalton gives everybody credit but me. But I'm the one who was like, I was early on the Dalton Pruitt train, right? Like, we got him.
Okay.
I remember he went up as the warm up for Comedy Fight Club.
Yes, yeah, he showed us that, I think.
Years and years ago. He did the warm up one night, and Zach happened to be Zach happened to be one of the guest judges that night, Zach Amico, and he saw him and he's like, "This kid's the real deal. Trust me. Like book him on Spook Show." And I did, and he came on and he murdered. He murdered on Spook Show. And
Hey, real quick, stop talking for 1 second. Hey, win by 2. You're actual garbage. Stop fucking talking any more bullshit. Your show's pathetic, and it's just another rendition of Red Bar or Nobody Likes Onions and other shit. Dude, just stop it. You're fucking sad at this point. Thank you. Continue, sir. No one likes talking about each other's kids, man. You're fucking gross for that.
Yeah,
Continue.
dude. How about game to 15 radio? How about that?
You're actually disgusting, bro. Good luck.
Yeah, so Dalton, and I just kept going back for the guy, and we eventually got him to come in for Real Ass Podcast, and that's the one where he made Dylan cry, and he kind of blew up from there, and it's like, you know, I feel bad for Dalton because it's like around that same time we had Are You Garbage show up, and like out of nowhere. H. Foley went from being a guy who would hang out at he would show up towards the end of the 10 p.m. shows at New York Comedy Club East Village to put his name down to 5 minutes for the late night crowd. He went from that to being a guy who can sell out theaters in year. You know what I mean? The jump that all those guys
potential, but something happened mentally with Dalton though, man.
Right. So that's my point. It's like he saw the AYG guys. He saw Shane come through, and Shane just had that meteoric rise. And in his mind, I think he was the next one. And it was a thing where he kind of let that go to his head. And the first big thing, right when he popped off, his friend died, and he kind of made grief his personality for about 2 months longer than anyone is okay with. You never supposed to make grief your personality, right? Because everybody experiences loss. It's a universal thing. So once everyone else is caught up to you, let's say you lose your parents when you're 15, and that becomes your personality for the next 40 years, right? The guy who lost.
It's like being fat.
Right. It's like when everybody else catches up and everybody else's parents die, now your personality is completely devoid. You never make grief your personality. And he did that for a bit.
Plus, he was mentally unstable, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he also did a little bit of fart sucking, where it's I got all these patrons coming in, so of course I'm just gonna do all the drugs and be a rock star because I am, and the wheels just kind of fell off a little bit. I think Skankfest Houston was kind of the end of that.
That was hilarious, though.
Alex is
perfect.
Yeah.
Funny story.
Yeah.
Dude, at Skankfest Houston, oh man, I love Dalton. Let me preface this by saying that I'd been producing Loud Boys for a few weeks at the time. I was just starting to get to know Dalton. And at Skankfest Houston, everybody's on drugs. It's not just Dalton, by the way. Can you take that from her?
But he's unstable though when he's taking drugs.
Well, yeah, but anything.
It was a little bit different than someone coherent in taking drugs.
Let's give him the benefit of the doubt for this one. He was, still on top of comedy enough to be at Skankfest and part of the festival and everything.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're, he's on a bit of what I think was probably acid, and he finds me in this back hallway and. With a panic, he says, "Alex, I need you right now. I need you more than anyone's ever needed you ever. My parents are calling, and they know that I'm fucked up, okay? But I want you to talk to them and tell them that I am not fucked up, that I was
just
lying
gone
to
right
them."
now.
And he needed me to deal with his parents on the phone, and I was on acid too at the time. And but I'm a good friend, and I did it. And I
imagine being an adult saying that. But go ahead.
I'm on the phone with Mr. and Mrs. Pruitt down in Texas, who I've never met before, telling them that I think that Dalton might have smoked a little bit of weed and
a bit of weed. That's acting in psychosis right now.
But don't worry,
a bit of weed.
Don't worry, Mr. and Mrs. Pruitt. He's with a ton of people who really care about him, and we're going to see this through to its conclusion when he will be absolutely fine in the morning. It was
after that, it sounded like, because we had him on just a couple months ago, and it sounded like he became a recluse and went off the grid and
Yeah, he sounded
really had a mental
psychosis.
break of some sort. So
Yeah. Well, then months after that Skankfest, the pandemic kind of hit him, and we're getting like well, no, that Skankfest was after the pandemic, by the way, Mike. During,
Yeah,
I
he
guess.
was already acting tweaker as shit after.
Yeah,
before,
then
bro.
like suddenly we're getting texts. I'm getting texts from him that just don't make any sense. Like Kamala Harris shit all over the White House floor and stuff like that. And like
That's true. That's true shit.
real-
What are you talking about? That's
real
true shit.
texts
She's a
from him, and
fucking
I'm like,
nasty
I don't know
bitch.
if that's okay, you guys.
Yeah, the what was it? The cast from Succession is Donald Trump's life story, and it's proof that the world is ending. Just the show Succession was personally talking to Dalton through it there for a little bit, and he lost his mind. Right?
yeah, I
That's
think he
really
went
it,
deep into
right?
pop culture stuff and
Yeah.
started
No, he
looking
went-
into it.
Dude, he was honestly probably one of my favorite guests. He was very honest. He was very honest
love-
about his mental issues that was going on with him, but also at the same time, he kind of kept a level head and was able to keep a conversation going, which I respect. With somebody that's mentally handicapped in some aspect. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
She,
hopefully he makes it work.
Yeah.
He wants to get bigger into the YouTube stuff. I think he's pretty good on.
no, he
He
is.
can run a good show. He can captivate someone for as an entertainer still.
So at the time, and this is what really kind of messed me up a little bit. Like at the time, I was booking a comedy club in Brooklyn, and my thought process at the time, like they used to give Big J Ogerson would do like the 1 a.m. shows at the Cellar, right? And it was a thing where he would go on last because who the hell is going to follow Jay, right? Like,
Right, is that what's 1 a.m.?
well, yeah, but it's like, but at the same time, it's like Jay's going to go up there. He's literally just going to talk to every single person, within the first 3 rows, give them like a personal comedy experience that they're never going to like get anywhere else. And it's like at that point, any other comic that comes out, that's all that they're going to want. Like they're not going to be sitting there for somebody's jokes. And I wanted that for Dalton so badly. Like I wanted to put Dalton in that spot with this club that I was running, where I was like, dude, come by for the late night anytime, and I'll put you up at the end. And it's like he would actively start alienating crowds, which was not the best look. And yeah, I mean, like he would like freak out on stage the whole nine, and it's
Because
like,
he's mentally handicapped, bro. He's fucked up.
yeah,
He's off his meds.
it was rough because it's like, I don't know, dude, like that was somebody who was like, he certainly has like the 5 tools, like he's like a 5-tool player, has everything it would take to succeed. Add to that, like, the fact that he has experienced some losses, some hardships, and some downtimes, and is like very comfortable being open and honest with it. And it's like, dude, that is a recipe for success, right? Like this is comedy. You're supposed to get your ass kicked every now and then. You're supposed to be part of the joke and be at down points and then
Laugh at it.
yeah. And it's like Dalton is doing a great job of that. And let's be honest, dude, that series where he just looks at giant titties on TikTok, that's peak content. That is peak.
Oh, on TikTok and shit, dude. He got canceled. Not canceled, but they kind of blocked it a few times. But he came back. I
Dude, he
don't
keeps
see it
coming back.
lasting. I see TikTok fucking canceling that shit soon, bro. I don't know.
I just want to know. I want to know when he's gonna get Dirty Delish. When is he coming for her, dude?
That's Nor, I apologize for her. She does not know what she says. She's very.
Dirty Delish wants Mike's dick. I could sense it.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
definitely does. She's thirsty, bro. She's thirsty.
Well,
She's single. She wants kids. She knows he
Over
can provide
beyond
kids
hope
for
that
her.
me and Mike don't work out
Her
because
ginger
she is
pussy's
all on it.
craving. She's creaming for a baby right now. So you
Dirty
better
Delish
hop
is
into
in
that
your
market,
DMs.
right?
By the end of the night. That's my prediction,
You
honey.
better delish to her creamy ginger pussy, all right, buddy?
Dude, yo, she heard I don't miss. That's all she heard. She's like, yo, that guy fires and babies up.
You don't miss, baby. You're like Eli Manning. You never miss when it counts, all right?
Yeah, if you go on her Twitter, you'll see she's got some nice stuff up there.
She's got, dude, as long as she's got the hammers out, I'm gonna tag Dalton in that right now. Like we gotta, that's the next
Oh,
step.
she's got him. Yeah.
That's the dude. Do her next,
You've
Dalton.
got them.
I know you're watching this.
Bro. They'll make you want to floss your teeth with them. But anyway, let's get back into it.
Well, hey, how about this? Can you guys rank the skanks for us?
Yeah.
Rank
it.
Work with each of them every single week. Why don't you rank them on a scale?
Hey,
of
did
one?
your mic?
Your mic.
Did you adjust? Did you kick something on the mic or?
Yeah.
Now try again.
Test.
No, it's out. I don't know if you might have
Uh-oh.
touched something on it when you climbed over. No, they're on mute. But yeah, so as they're getting set up here, I'll just, recap where we're at, because I know we'll probably get some more people coming on live once Brennan's done. But this is Mike Harrington and Alex Scarlato, producers and entertainers at Gas Digital, New York City-based comedians / couple. And
They're amazing, yeah.
yeah, we've been, just to recap, if you're joining live, we've been covering the rise of Gas Digital from the early days when they started there, how they met, the relationship, and just a lot of stories of times working there. You guys are set on mute. Mir, did you mute them or did they mute themselves? On the StreamYard, you're muted. So
yeah, they muted themselves. They're good now.
Check. I think we're back.
You can hear
yeah,
us?
yeah. You're good now.
Are we
Dope.
and we're both good, I think.
Yeah.
You're a little lower.
Fine.
But yeah. Where were we? I forgot where we. Oh, you wanted us to rate the skanks. That's right. How could I?
Yeah, rate those fucking dirty whores.
Oh my God, I love all three of them. I would rate them all differently based on what category we're rating them in. If it's like who's the
Beauty,
nicest
because
to
beauty
me,
always matters.
If it,
Ooh, who's the hottest?
we're doing hottest skanked. least
Who's the
skank.
sexiest little dirty slut that
That's
is there?
that's a difficult question. I think all three of them are really good looking dudes.
Not for a man, it's not. You know what, Mike? Take over.
Mir,
Tell
we're
me.
talking about the Legion of Skanks, the three dudes.
Oh,
ahead.
my bad.
Yeah.
I think all three of them are good looking dudes. I would say, oh man, I guess it would depend what kind of mood you're in. They're all
Wow, you're just refusing to answer this, huh? She doesn't want me
You know
to
what?
know.
Take over, Mike. I knew you.
She doesn't want me to know who I should be afraid of.
I'll go. I can't do that. I can't do it. I can't put any
It's
of them
tricky.
in third place. They're all good looking dudes.
Yeah,
well, but I mean,
tricky.
it's like sure, I don't know. Like there are extremely attractive people who it's like, yeah, just by circumstance, you gotta rank them.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
I'll
He
go.
goes, yeah.
Like I'm saying, if you compare Matthew McConaughey to anyone in this room, sure, Matthew McConaughey's winning. But if you compare
no, I'll
Matthew
beat him,
McConaughey to like, I don't know, that fucking kid from The Bear who's got his dick out in the new Calvin Klein commercials, like, yeah, that guy's winning. I'm sorry.
Some of it takes, the voice.
So I mean, I don't know. Like I've always said Dave Smith is he's the classically handsome one out of this crew.
Yeah. Probably the smartest too.
Gomez has that like
Okay,
New
but-
Yorker like bald headed like vibe. He's like, hey,
Yeah, exactly.
To
That's not.
He's like Pitbull.
I agree with you. Dave is the most classically good looking of the three of them. And it's the thing that's what I'm the least into out of all three looks.
Hang on, answer this from little 1x2 question for Mike. Why is there a picture of Santa Claus above you, bro?
Because we got very festive in our home. We put up these little stickers on the window so they could look out. I mean, the tree's down. Every other piece of decoration is down.
I just forgot to take those.
Didn't forget. That was a choice.
Yeah, right. So
Baby's
we're
first Christmas. You got to celebrate.
Yeah,
a
we're
little
my teeth.
extra.
Why don't you suck a cock and get someone pregnant with your fucking garbage seed, all right? You fucking delusional bitch. Continue, guys.
Sorry about that, John. So yeah, and then Gomez, he's like a tough dude. Like
You guys are muted.
vibe. And then Big J, he's, I don't know. That's like I don't know why.
Your interface maybe with your mic.
No, I think it might be the board.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can't unmute them. They have to mute.
No, they can do it.
Yeah,
But
no.
yeah. No sound.
I love you, buddy. Don't ever leave me. I
Mir's
love
all
you so
fired
much.
up today.
Never leave me. You guys are muted. What's going on here?
No, it's all good.
No, it's good. I got a question.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, perfect. Okay,
With
so
different audio,
I
sorry.
got a question for you two because you guys are producers. Because you guys remember, gosh, what was it? It was Whitney Cummings, like what was it, her roast or something she did with Jay Okerson was there.
Mm-hmm.
What was your guys? I never watched it. What was your guys' take on that? Because I heard there was like some like people shitting on it because it's kind of like shitty, and they're like, it's not really that funny, and it would kind of seem kind of fake and kind of pressed and forced. What was your guys' take as producers watching that and just like kind of taking that in? Because you guys had your people from Gas Digital on there, so
We didn't see it. Neither of us watched it.
Look, I'll tell you this.
I heard that the night of production could have gone smoother.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I heard it was kind of rough, especially, apparently the Whitney one was like absolutely incredible. Apparently the Whitney one like went off without a hitch, which is why they ended up doing the second one. The second one was Bert, who apparently got
that's it. Yeah, Bert. Yeah,
he got so drunk, he was like incoherent, and then like when they asked him to go up and like do his rebuttal at the end, which is like kind of a built-in feature of a roast, he was like just too drunk to do it. Like he was like, nah, like absolutely not. Hit him with one of those like, I'm angry that you're asking me to do anything. I'm so
I'm
drunk.
gone.
Faces. Yeah. Like don't even bother. It's a silly thing to ask him to do. So it's like, yeah, obviously that's a bit of a mess, but I mean, I don't think it was. I don't know how it could be unfunny because I know who the writers' room was for that.
Who was it?
It was all I'm going to say is it was a bunch of friends of mine who, are some of the funniest people on the planet. And it was a really good opportunity for them. So
They weren't SNL people, right?
I'm never going to sit. No, it was like
Okay,
actually funny people.
Real people.
Actually,
Good. Actually funny.
very
people.
funny.
Good.
SNL's had one funny person in the last decade and they showed him the door because of fucking Twitter.
Shane.
Yeah, because of something that happened on a podcast. Like look at everybody else who came on to the SNL cast with Shane Gillis, right? Bowen Yang is their breakout star because he had a fucking Hulu movie. Like Shane Gillis somehow took that opportunity of being in the announcement of this SNL thing, and like he's bigger than anybody else who got booked on that show. And it shows you
Right.
like they just don't value funny over there. Whereas like
Sad.
I'm friends with the funniest people on the planet, and some of them were working on that the OnlyFans roast series. And
Right.
like I said, it was a great opportunity for them. So I'm never going to say a bad word about that product.
Yeah, no doubt. Getting back to, I guess, comedy. What are you doing? Any booking or any running clubs right now?
No, so I had like one club on the line, but the guy ended up being very, very shady. And it was a thing where it's like, all right, like not only am I worried about like myself in that situation, it's like I can't in good conscience book comics who I know, who I respect, who I like, who I want to work with down the line. And worry about this guy not paying them. He was like just super unprofessional about like meeting me and stuff. So I passed on that one. There is like one decent sized club in New York that apparently like they are in desperate need of a booker. So that might be be where my next move is. But as of right now, what I'm really focusing on is just booking road stuff. So like I know Chris Vega wants to tour a bunch more. KP Burke wants to tour a bunch more. Zach's been looking at different places. I've been more like Zach's doing fine on his own. He doesn't need somebody like me looking for spots for him. But if I can find a venue that like it makes a ton of sense to do a one nighter with like Zach and Vega, that's really where my focus has been. Mainly because I want to get away from this baby and get out on the road more. Oh, hey, you're back. Sorry.
Is there anyone on the scene that we might not know about who you think could be like one of those guys coming out of nowhere, like Dalton Pruitt or something?
I got a question from after this. Go ahead.
All right, I mean, like just the guys who it depends like what you mean by out of nowhere, right? Because it's like, I don't know how familiar you are with like, Nate Marshall and the Panties in the Mouth guys. But like I love everything they're doing. Derek and Gio just signed on with Gas. You look at what Gio's doing right now, like that. what he's doing on Instagram, like that kind of KFC style, like I'm gonna have a video behind me and I'm gonna react to it in real time. Like I've seen that blow guys' careers up before. So Geo very well could be that next guy. But I mean, I don't know. Like there's a ton of just funny young guys in New York right now. Wolfgang Hunter.
I mean,
Wolfgang. Jesus,
I don't know how like
Wolfgang's
new,
legit.
I don't know
that's
how
a hard ass name.
Dude, go check out his shit. He's funny.
Mozart right there.
new name you're looking for and how much you expect the answer to this question to like blow up. But like I have my money on Tim Butterly being huge.
Okay. Yeah, he's funny. I've seen him. He's so
Tim
funny. Dude.
Butterly. Tim Butterly.
Yeah. He's one of the guys from Dad Meat.
Tim fucking rules and his
Dead meat.
yeah.
Dad
Isn't
Meat.
that- wait. Dad meat or dead meat?
Dad Meat. He fought Lewis on the fight card where Harrington fought Alex Stein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even consider Tim in that because like Tim is already at a point. Tim's at a point where he can go headline in multiple different cities in this country right now. So I wasn't considering that would have been my first choice. Yeah, like Tim's right there.
Well, there's some names for the audience that's watching, and probably some buddies that can give you props back. Hey, one question I wanted to ask about was about Crack.
Something. What are you doing?
Crack Amico.
What about him?
Yeah, we were trying to get him on for a while, and he said he would, but he wanted to wait till after the fight. But dude, that guy's music is fucking hilarious. He's one of those guys where I think for musical comedy, it's one of the funnier things he's doing with the video editing and the music.
Yeah, I love Crack. I love everything that he's doing. His whole dude, the diss track on Dylan, and then following that up with a diss track on himself.
Yeah,
absolutely perfect.
I got a great question. Fuck all this garbage you guys are talking about.
Okay,
you know what?
Hey, trying to give props to my friend Crack here. I mean, go listen to Crack Amigos.
Shout out Crack.
Shout out Crack. But I got a deep question for this motherfucker right here, Mike. Man, as a father,
yes,
because you know how we're all. Because you're 35. Chow's what? Chow, you're what? Almost 40 now.
Yeah,
I'm 25. So you know how all motherfuckers
how did you guys
are.
become friends?
Dude,
was this like a big brother?
we're G's. That's how G's roll. When G
Yeah.
recognizes G to some aspect, you roll with it, bro.
All right, I'm not even going to question that.
Yes, sir. Do not do
You
it.
guys toe tapping under bathroom stalls, and now you're doing a podcast. God bless, dude.
That's right. Suck the
Basically.
stock and we're good to go. But anyway. But my thing is this, because we all have daughters here, and I really want to ask you a deeper question. Because you witness how most men in their 20s and whatnot have been like around women and shit. And I witnessed it too. Like, I'm not trying to like pull your fucking plug here and shit. I'm kind of worried about this too. Like as a man, when you see men nowadays, especially in a decade from now, when your daughters, starting to start dating men and whatnot, what do you look for as a father? Just like kind of talk to me about that, because I want to look, because I'm kind of looking up to you at this point because you're older than me, because I kind of want to see what you're looking at so I can kind of look for that too. What do you look for in a man who's going to be with your daughter possibly in the future and whatnot? What are you looking for as a man? Like, you can kind of see yourself, and then more than that. Can you dive in that for me?
It's a little early to ask that question, because her idea of like a hot man right now is Elmo.
No, but you know what I'm talking about, bro.
like
Don't
what-
talk to me like that. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. Like
like
there's certain things,
values and codes and stuff. Like
there's certain things you like. You ain't looking for no
Traditions.
fuck boys and shit though. So my thing is, like, as a father, what are some things you will look for that personally that you want from them that you portrayed, but also at the same time, like, you know what, certain things I did as a male, I'm gonna look for, and I'm gonna make sure that guy isn't doing what I did at that age.
Well, yeah, I mean that, like, I don't know, like the honest answer to that question, right, is like karma is real. So, like for the piece of shit that I've been, I can't expect, my daughter to not, have at least one or two, regrettable hookups. But it's like a thing where, I don't know, that's also part of being a young lady, right? Like we lose sight of that as men because, like, in our early 20s, it is
we're trying to fuck anything.
Yeah, but like we also lose sight of that as like like the things that we did, or like, oh my God, can you believe this pig let me X, Y, and Z? And it's like that girl has that exact story of her own. Is like, yeah, that might be one of the fucking craziest, hottest things she's ever done. And it's like, yeah, that's not something she's going to do, in her 30s and 40s, but it's like, whatever. But I mean, as far as like, bringing home a guy, like I just look at Alex, right? And it's like, she was raised very well by good, well-adjusted parents. And, like,
You could talk to her.
right. And it's like, she wasn't, when something was going amiss in a relationship, she was very quick to like call it out or point out the bullshit or like, and that really is my goal with Aura, is to like raise her to be a woman who like, like she's going to process when she's being mistreated or this isn't something she like. And ultimately it's like, I want you to feel as comfortable with the person who you're dating as you do in your home with your mom and dad. Right. And if you're walking on eggshells or if you're feeling some kind of tension or uneasiness,
your shit,
dude, just cut through that like a knife, because that's not who I raised you to be. Right. Like I raised you to be somebody who is very confident and comfortable in her own skin. And that's going to require work from Alex and I on our end.
Well, I think you got a good role model and philosopher in Dave Smith for parenting philosophy and that type of stuff. So, we'll just...
Yeah, let your wife do everything.
Yeah, exactly. Stay together, make money, and let your wife do everything,
Mm-hmm.
Boom, you got it. So,
no, I do respect that though, man. Like, I understand where you're coming from. It's just like, dude, just try to instill the best prospects of life. Because you and I'm sure, and Chow and everyone else, we went through what our parents went through and whatnot, and you kind of learn from what they learned, and then you're going to try to implement a better version of that towards our own kids. And so it's just like, you know what? I'm going to try and be there as much as possible. I'll teach you what I learned as the opposite sex about, males and whatnot. And I just want you to be as successful as possible. And I'll be there for you no matter what. I'm not going to judge you. I'm just going to be there for you and love you, because once you start judging and all that other shit, bro, you kind of push them away from you, and it's going to be bad. You don't want
the world's going to be so much different in 5 years.
Yeah, you don't even know
more
that.
in 10 and 15 and 20. So trying to even give it any just day to day, Speaking of which, Harrington, I know you are you in any type of recovery program? You don't have to say like if you are. Yeah, so
I did 12 years in the program, like the main one.
Yep.
Something like that, 2007 to 10 years. I did 10 full years, like 100% clean and sober. Yeah, all of it in the program. And then yeah, I don't know. Why were you asking?
Well, I just thought because we were talking about like kind of codes or morals, like, and what you're going to as parenting. I was going to ask you about that because I knew you abstain from a lot of drugs and alcohol or whatever. Or I don't know if you.
I abstain from very few drugs. I abstain from all alcohol.
Okay. No, I didn't know. I couldn't remember exactly what it was, but
can I be honest with something here, real quick, about that shit? I'm gonna be honest with you here, Chow and Mike and Alex. If you guys are listening, I dealt with addicts all my life, and I dealt with people saying like, "Oh, I recovered because they went to fucking rehab and did this and did that." I'm like, all right, great. You don't actually fucking recover from alcohol and drugs is until you can do it and say, you know what, I don't need to do it right now. I can just do it and be fine.
Not true.
That is when you conquer it. When you say I did a drink in 10 years, and then you fucking drink and then you fucking fall back in it. No, you didn't conquer it. You're scared and you're hiding from it. You need to be able to fucking do the goddamn drug. You gotta be able to do meth, do fucking coke, do whatever you need to do, and then be fucking sober the next goddamn day and fucking go about your life. That's what I'm saying right now.
All right, but besides what Mir's talking about, this
it's a very 25-year-old way of looking at things.
Well, the reason I brought it up was because if you had, based on what I knew about you, and you probably have some tools and stuff that you can impart moral and stuff, just different things that you've learned over the years of, that you could, I don't know. I just feel like you've got the right, I don't know how it ties into parenting and all that life, but
like realistically though, like that, if you have like a decent sponsor in the program, they'll tell you like the steps are not something you do, right? It's like a literal step-by-step guidebook on how to be a decent human being in our society, right?
Right.
You fucking, you you admit that you need help sometimes. You try to clear away, the wreckage that you've done. Keep your side of the street clean. Promptly making amends if you do mess up. I mean, this is all just basic stuff that
Hang on, is it Christian?
No.
Okay, this is just straight like normal people shit. It's not no cult shit. Okay, go ahead.
No, I mean it's it is what it is. It's a it's a 12-step program, but it's not directly attached to like any one denomination.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
But I knew Muslims in the program. It is what it is. But that's
no,
it.
no, I agree. You know, I've attended meetings before, and I know the steps, and it's something that can really just clear, like you mentioned earlier, karma. It clears your self karma and can really make you be present, live day to day, one day at a time type shit. So, but yeah, Mir's the expert, the 25-year-old kid. So
yeah, dude, you got it. He's figured out the actual definition of alcoholism. But no, I do think like I do look back on that time very fondly as like, it's something that gave me structure. And it's like also it's been easier to build structure in other parts of my life as a result of doing that, So like, I don't know, definitely worthwhile. Definitely something I needed at the time. And I still haven't had a drink in 15 plus years now, something like that.
Congrats, dude. That's awesome. Thank you. No, that's amazing. Great to hear. And Mir, he's been chugging them down, so he's taking another piss. But
damn, dude.
I don't know. I don't even know what else we can get to. I think we've covered a lot of stuff. Any future plans for another show that you might want to be starting, or a couple show, or anything any irons in the fire for you guys that you're working on?
So I just released actually the first thing today on YouTube. I'm sorry, on Instagram and Twitter. It's like I don't know, like I really like that like the guys sitting in front of a green screen and like having cool stuff going on behind them. So I did one of those for I'm trying like a UFC ladder challenge. So the idea is simple, right? You put like a very small amount to start. For this one, for instance, we're doing $50. And the idea is try to double it over the course of 10 events at like plus 100 odds. So you take like two pretty big favorites, you combine them in a parlay, you get plus 101. Now that 50 turns into $100. You do that the same thing the next week, turns to 200, 400, 800, 1600, 32. I want to get to 50 grand by UFC 300. So I'm going to put out these videos weekly on the old Instagram and the Twitter. And it's about what I'm doing. Other than that, I have like a couple big things I'm working on with Corinne is going to be doing some Gas exclusive content. I know Fega and Zach are working on some Gas exclusive content. Just a bunch more good stuff. Tune in gasdigital.com. Use my promo code Mike, get a 7-day free trial. Check out over, 7,000 hours of content you can't get anywhere else. And it's cheaper after that. So there you go.
And then check out another show that you're associated with, BYM. Believe You Me.
Believe You Me. Michael Bisping, Anthony Smith, half the time.
How's Bisping IRL in real life?
Dude, Bisping is he's the man, dude. He legitimately carries himself like a UFC champion would. You know what I mean? Like somebody who every room he walks into, he is immediately the toughest and coolest guy in the room. And like I don't know. I love Bisping. I love hanging out with him, love his energy. I got to see him go live, like in person, sparring Lewis, and it's the most terrified I've ever been of a person on someone on two legs. Like he literally looked like a fucking jungle cat.
You probably love that because there's all those videos of Lewis beating on you a little bit, too. And then you get to see Bisping beat on him. So
yeah, that's just they didn't put out the other footage where I was kicking his ass.
Right.
I have to make it look good for YouTube.
The video where you started throwing up. Remember that one?
Backyard?
Yeah.
Dude, it is what it is. I didn't get knocked out. I didn't get knocked out, did I? Did I get knocked out? I don't think so.
No, you didn't. That was epic. Yeah, I appreciate you, man. You've really provided a lot of good entertainment over the last handful of years. So, and
Thanks for having
I
me.
do want to say congratulations on the child and pulling that beautiful woman.
Yep.
And Alex, you got anything you want to promote before we get out of here tonight?
Subscribe to Gas Digital. Use promo code. You got one? You got a promo code?
Yeah, promo code Mike.
Use promo code Mike.
Yeah. Oh, shout out to Klein Host. I did win that fight. Love you, dude.
Yeah. So if you guys didn't know, Alex Stein fought Harrington, and it was a very controversial decision that was given to.
That was you, bro?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
Alex Stein got the nod,
What I
but
heard.
it was very close. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of thought Harrington won too. So too bad, but
It is what it is.
maybe a rematch.
I would. My problem is I'm losing too much weight, right? Like I'm getting too light to fight Alex Stein.
How much
again.
are you now?
I mean, I'm back below my fight weight.
Okay.
So I started out at like 275, something like that. Got down to 225 for the Alex Stein fight. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep going down, and I don't know, dude. Like it would be, I might. If Alex was like, yeah, let's do it, here's a date, I might just start doing some roids, bulk back up. But yeah, I do want to fight him again just because I really like Alex. I had a lot of fun building up a fight with him.
Right.
And, dude, there's very few people.
Does he hit hard?
To punch in the face than Alex Stein.
What about Stevie Lou? He's a former guest of ours.
Yeah,
Did you
that's
fight
what I'm
him?
thinking. Yeah.
No, he's below you. Yeah.
I mean, look, I like Stevie. We all used to hang out with Stevie's sister growing up. She was a sweet girl, old Trace. But you know, I have no reason to fight Stevie Lou. Like,
Ryan Catcher Rivera.
Who?
Ryan Catcher Rivera, Gavin McInnes's producer.
Is that the midget?
Yeah,
no, he's not a midget. He's 5'6". That's not midgety. That's like that's a fucking fucking
He's
not Latino, but he's Asian.
No, I mean Harrington's got a couple big wins under his belt. He needs to step it up.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love all these comedian fights that get spun up. So, and you're kind of like you and Lewis are the kings of it because.
Yeah, dude, it's Team Rattlesnake Harrington. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, exactly. So, keep
Andy
it up,
Dick.
man.
You need Andy Dick on you, bro. If you can beat up Andy Dick, that'd be lit.
Fight Andy Dick?
We could set that up, maybe.
If you could set that up, please set that up, dude.
He's way too frail. He would kill him, like literally kill him.
Probably.
Yeah, dude. Yo, how fun would that be? How fun would it be if that's how Andy Dick went out, dude?
Stuttering John's starting to fight everyone these days. That could. Harrington's got enough pull maybe to make that happen.
Any of these guys, any of these washed up radio guys, bring them on. I would love to show them that podcasting's the new wave. What's good?
All right. But Chow, you end this great episode with this lovely couple with us.
Yeah, really appreciate you guys. Like they said, check out the Gas Digital app and put in the code Mike. And appreciate you, Alex and Mike. And till next time, Mir.
It was honestly an honor, guys. Peace.
Hell yeah, dude. Thanks for having us, boys.
Later.
Peace.